Breaking: Jubilation in Wike's camp as Governor Sim Fubara, the head of local government area clash over Supreme Court jubilation on local government autonomy. They set to be deprived CTC chairman of funds. Hello viewers and welcome to InfoGist TV. The recent landmark judgment of the Supreme Court on local government financial autonomy has caused rift between Rivers State Governor Similayo Fubara and the 23 head of local government administration. A staff of Rivers State Government House who pleaded anonymity said Governor Fubara mandated the acting chairman of Rivers State Local Government Service Commission, Goodlife Ben, to assemble the 23 head of local government areas for an emergency meeting with him in the Government House, Port Harcourt, following the news of the Supreme Court ruling. The meeting took place at 8 p.m. on Friday, July 12th. The governor told the council's heads of administration to continue working with the local government caretaker committees he appointed about a fortnight ago. The governor continued by telling them that the Supreme Court did not categorically spell it out that the already appointed caretaker committee should vacate their positions. He further asserted that the judgment is even being interpreted in different ways by senior lawyers in the country. Fubara directed them to continue to allow the 23 CTCs to access funds, whether it comes from joint account allocation committees or directly from the federation account to the respective local government accounts. The directive did not sit well with the head of local government areas, Mr. Inume Raymond, the head of administration, Ogubolo Local Government Council, did not mince her words in disagreeing with the directives. She reportedly told the governor that she does not want to go to jail. Mrs. Raymond reminded Governor Fubara that this is the judgment of not just any court but the highest court in the land, that they are being asked to disobey. Her stand was supported by her colleagues in the meeting. The head of the local government area of Eleme Local Government Council, Cyril, suggested that the governor should give the directive via a state broadcast. Recall that Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, has described the Supreme Court's judgment on local government financial judgment on local Recall that the Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, has described the Supreme Court's judgment on local government financial autonomy as a distraction, saying the country must face the real issues. This is just the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political and Cultural Association, Efenifere, has condemned the judgment, saying it was a judicial conspiracy against true federalism and democracy. The Apex Yoruba group also described the creation of the Ministry of Livestock Development as an audacious euphemism for the reintroduction of cattle colony. Ruga and those other policies by which the former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration sought to appropriate lands in the state, the Supreme Court had on Thursday declared that it is unconstitutional for state governors to hold funds allocated for local government administration. The court further declared that a state government has no power to appoint a caretaker committee, declaring that the local government council is only recognizable with a democratically elected government. But speaking when he hosted the Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ) executives led by the president, Chief Chris Isugozo, at the Secretariat Ibadan, the state capital, Makinde said the judgment was a distraction and called on his colleagues to focus on productivity rather than being distracted by the judgment. He said, "There was a judgment at the Supreme Court local government autonomy, financial autonomy, and I will still say it. I think it's a distraction. We must face the real issues that we have, and the issues that we have is that we are not producing enough. We are not productive. Whatever it is we are sharing in Abuja, which is what this fact is all about, or whatever it's in Abuja's share, it's with the local government. Is that our problem? Maybe it is a part of the problem, but yes, you want to have value for what you want to share, but our real problem is productivity." But now this is going to be the discussion for the next month, when the issue of hunger and anger in the land will still be under the table. It's a big issue. The federal government is saying we have to import food. It's a big shame. It's a big shame on this country that we cannot feed ourselves. And then we are saying we should go back to those things that will allow us to bring confidence back to our people and to ensure that this country is back on the path of growth and progress, Makinde explained. Also reacting to the judgment, Efenifere, in a statement issued by its leader and the National Public Secretary, Chief Ayo Adebanjo and Prince Justice Faloyin, respectively, described the Apex Court's judgment as a mere judicial conspiracy. This statement was titled "Tinubu and the Grand Conspiracy Against Democracy and True Federalism in Nigeria." According to the group, the judgment was against the principle of true federalism. It added that the Supreme Court had played to the gallery in delivering such a judgment. The statement reads, Efinifere views the judgment of the Supreme Court in the case filed by the federal government on the social local government autonomy as a shared judicial conspiracy in cohort with Tinubu's administration against the Nigerian state and its foundational principles of federalism. Rather than interpret the constitution to uphold its elementary but overriding federal principles, which recognizes only a two-tier federal structure of the central government, rather than interpret the constitution to uphold its elementary but overriding federal principle, which recognizes only a two-tier federal structure of the central government and federating states, the Supreme Court played to the gallery and whittling allowed itself a most retrogressive declaration that the power of the government is portioned into three arms of government: the federal, the state, and the local government. For the avoidance of any doubt, Afinifere makes bold to say that, in line with its negotiated basis of existence, Nigeria is a federation consisting of states and a federal capital territory, as affirmed by Section 2, Sub 2 of the 1999 Constitution. While Afinifere frowns at corruption and misuse of public funds at levels of government, it condemns in most unmistaken terms the subjections and subjugations of the states and their constitutional roles, including the local government system, to the whims and caprices of the federal government by any means, including obvious manipulation of the federation account. As in the present case, the group also alleged that the ongoing administration of Tinubu had been practicing a unitary system in some of its policies since its inception. It maintained that the only way forward for the country was to practice true federalism. It is becoming stringently eloquent that with just over a year of its inauguration, the Tinubu's government, more than ever, even the military administration, is uncannily determined to unitarize the Nigerian Federation. Part of the unitary package is the creation of the Ministry of Livestock Development, which is the audacious euphemism for the reintroduction of cattle colony, Ruga, and those other policies by which the Buhari's administration sought to appropriate lands in the states contrary to the provisions of Land Use Act and the Constitution, which vests land in the states in the government in trust for the people. Efinifere insists that the way forward for Nigeria is not the confusion, rudderless tinkering, but a holistic restructuring of the polity to reenact the fundamental principles of true federalism, as agreed by the founding fathers. This includes the fact that the local government system is an exclusive preserve of the states, either by direct constitutional provisions or residual powers in a federation, the group explained. Meanwhile, Femi Falana SAN applauds the judgment of the Supreme Court. Femi Falana has said the local government area run by caretaker committees in 20 states will not get funds from the Federation account until elected officials are in place by Thursday's Supreme Court judgment granting financial autonomy to the local government areas in the country. Falana said this in a Channels TV program. He said there are several judgments to the effect that no governor has the power to dissolve elected local governments, but this occurred on a regular basis. Today, out of the 36 states in the country, 22 governors have sacked local government officials and installed caretaker committees contrary to the stipulations of Section 7 of the Constitution and the flagrant disobedience of several judgments of the court. He added that the local government autonomy provisions is clear and every lawyer is aware of Section 7 of the Constitution to the effect that the system of the local government in Nigeria shall be democratically elected councils. Unknown to most Nigerians, Section 7, subsection 6 provides that in every state the House of Assembly shall make a law to facilitate the allocation of funds from the state government to the local government, apart from the allocation from the federation account. The state government is also required under the Constitution to give money for the development of local government, which is why from the federal government, the government should pass through a joint state and local government account. Furthermore, Section 7 provides that in every state in Nigeria, the House of Assembly shall make a law to enable local government to participate in the economic planning of the state, and in fact, there shall be an economic board in every state that involves state and local government officials, but this provision is ignored by the state governors. What the Supreme Court says in effect of Section 162 is that the money is being diverted. The money gets to the joint account but never gets to the local government. The Supreme Court has now ordered that henceforth the money shall go to the local government. Now, according to a news reporter, there are 462 local governments currently run by caretaker committees in the 22 states, including Rivers State, Anambra, Imo, Kwara, Zamfara, Yobe, Ondo, and Osun. Others are Akwa Ibom, Cross Rivers, Benue, Bauchi, Plateau, Abia, Enugu, Katsina, Kano, Sokoto, and Jigawa. However, Delta elected chairman and councillor into its 25 local government areas on Saturday. Falana commended the Attorney General of the Federation and the Ministry of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, for filing one of the very rare public interest litigations from his office. He decried the failure of the Nigerian Bar Association to put in place a mechanism for dealing with lawyers in public office who defy the Constitution or who fail to give appropriate advice to the federal and state government. The senior lawyers disagreed with former Delta Governor James Ibori's assertion that the Apex Court judgment is a setback to the principle of true federalism. With profound respect to Chief James Ibori, I think this argument is a bit contradictory. In the 1950s, nobody was going to Abuja to collect money. Every region depended on its own resources and can be described as a golden era of cocoa production in the West, groundnut in the north, and palm kernel in the east. But today, everybody goes to Abuja. So, for me, it's distorted federalism. You can't collect money from the central purse. Money meant for the development of Niger Delta when it gets to you, and for you to send it to the local government to divert it, you then realize it's a setback for federalism. So it's contradictory, Falana stated. Recall that the River State Governor Similaye Fubara nominated caretaker chairman for the 23 local government areas of the state. Fubara communications to the assembly was contained in a statement issued by the clerk of the House, GM Gills West, amid a renewed political crisis in the state, as former council chairmen have refused to vacate their offices after their tenure expired. The crisis in the state worsened as protesting youth loyal to Fubara dislodged chairmen who refused to leave their offices. It was reported that a policeman was killed at the Eberemoma Secretariat in Omuma local government area during a clash between supporters of Fubara and those of his predecessor, Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. Governor Similaye Fubara has said that the newly sworn-in caretaker committee chairman in the state can operate from anywhere if attempts to gain access to council secretariat would breach the peace in the state. He said the most important thing was that the caretaker chairmen are now in charge of the local government areas.